Hi you guys, welcome to my channel, Wholesale to Million. My name is Khang Lee, where I share and teach you guys everything I've learned about wholesaling houses, how you can go out there and find and locate motivated seller, which means the sellers that are needing and willing to sell to you at a discounted price, but you gotta learn how to talk to them, negotiate with them so you can tie that piece of property up under contract at a very discounted price. Learn how to go out there and find a cash buyer that's willing to pay more for it, and all you're going to do is assign the contract over to them for a large profit. Okay, now what's nice about wholesaling is you don't need any of your own cash, okay, because I put offer in on properties that I have more money than it is in the bank. Okay, so you don't need any of your own cash because you're not going to buy the property. You don't need good credit because you're not going to get a loan on it. You don't need any construction background because you're not going to fix it and flip it. Okay, what you do is you just need to learn the skill, the skill set, which I'm going to share and teach you guys in my channel on how to be able to go out there and do this. And it is legal, it is legit. People is doing it all across the states. All right, you guys. So anyways, today what I wanted to talk about is the most important things when it comes to negotiating with the motivated seller, or even with the buyer, you know, or even with anybody. Whoever mentioned the number first loses. Okay, and what I mean by that is, so typically when it comes to negotiating and when you ask them about the price and how much they want to sell for or walk away, whatever amount is, so you want to ask them, you want to get the number from the seller first. All right, you guys, not just the seller when it comes to negotiating with your buyer or your bird dog, you know, people that go out there and find deals for you. We always ask them, I always ask them, so what do you think is fair? What would you like? Okay, because to me, first you got to find out the other person, what they want. And if in your head you already want to pay more for them, then they're just going to be more grateful. They're going to be like, well, I wanted $1,000. Oh, well, you know what? Why don't I give you 2,000, right? So, but a lot of times if you mention the number first, okay, then you're going to lose, because if you mention the number first and it's a lot higher than what they wanted, then they might come back with even a higher number than what you have offer. All right. So anyways, that's the key to when it comes to negotiating and getting a good deal from the seller is you got to be able to come up with different techniques to ask the seller what they want, to get them to mention the number first to you. So to get them to drop the number first, that is the key. So basically, you know, when we talk to seller, they would say something like, well, you know what, Khang, I don't know how much I want. You know, I mean, you guys are the expert, right? You guys are the expert. Why don't you guys make me the offer? Now, if they say that, then I would say, well, you know, then I would say something like, well, let's just say John is the seller. I would say, well, John, you know, I understand that you want us to give you an offer first, but instead of going back and forth, you know, instead of going back and forth and playing this game, you know, we would like to know from you is, you know, if we take care of all the closing costs, all the fees, what is the least that you would consider? All right. So I would always try to bounce back and try to find a way to ask them so they can start giving you the number. Okay. So that's what I would ask. And like I said, I always represent the company, you know, the company you work for. So that way they know that they're not negotiating directly with you, that you are the one that's going to buy the property. All right, you guys. So, you know, even if after I ask them that question, you know, even if after you ask them the questions and they're like, well, I don't know, you know, Khang, why don't you give me the price? You know, why don't you give me the price? And then, you know, you can go back and say, well, John, you know, since we are going to pay for all your closing costs, all your fees and things like that, could you share with me, without me giving you a price, could you share with me, what would what kind of a ballpark are you looking at? You know, what kind of a price or ballpark are you looking at? You know, and then so you can try that. Now, if that doesn't work, then, you know, if that doesn't even work and they just say, no, you know, I'm not going to give you the price. I'm not going to give you, the thing is that's when you come across seller that is probably not motivated, because they already know what they want. They just want you to give them the offer. So, you know, so typically when seller like that, they're probably not motivated to sell. Okay, because typically the one that is motivated, they will give you a number. All right, But let's just say if you come across with seller like that, you know, then you want to come back and try it again. You know, I typically try to do it 3 times before I make them an offer. And if I do make them an offer, I make them a low offer, okay? So you would try it one more time. And saying, John, I understand that you want to get the most you can and you want me to give you the number first. But, you know, to be honest with you, I really don't know where to even start, you know, where to even start to give you a price without you letting me know kind of where you want it to look to sell the property for. It is your property. You know, you're the one who's going to put a price tag on it. So why don't you share with me and then reassure him with this. Well, John, I'm sure that if the price wasn't right for you, you wouldn't sell it. And if we can't have it make sense for us, then we wouldn't buy it. So with that being said, could you share with me roughly what you're thinking of? Or you know, and then just start saying, you know, and then just ask them that and see what they would say. And you know, I mean, there's many other ways. So after you try all that and they still don't give you a number and they say, well, you know, if you're not going to make me an offer, then forget it. Then forget it. Or maybe, hey, when you think of an offer, then call me back. And then at that time, what you want to do is you want to shoot out a low offer. But a lot of times, Suze, before I even shoot out an offer and I say, well, John, so you basically just want me to make you an offer without me knowing where you're at, you know, I will have to come in with a pretty low offer, you know, and I don't want to upset you or get you hung up on the, you know, and get you all riled up and get you offended and you're going to hang up on me. Okay. So without that, could you give me a price? But, you know, so after saying that, if they giggle, they're like, no, you know, just give me a price. If it works, if it doesn't, whatever it is that they're going to say. If that's the case, then you just want to give them a number and you want to start low, obviously. So you want to start low and then see where they're going to come in. All right. Or maybe you just want to even throw out a ball figure of saying, well, John, you know, we're thinking more between, you know, the 140, 150, 160. So whatever it is, let's just say that your max offer is 180. So you're saying, well, John, you know, we're thinking of more of that 160, 165. I mean, would you consider something like that? And they would come back and either say, no, screw you. No, that's not going to work. We're too far apart. Well, John, then you will come and you can come back and say, well, John, you asked me to make you the offer already, so I did make you an offer. So what are you looking to get, or what price do you have in mind? Okay. So there you guys go. So basically, the key is whoever mentioned the number first loses, which mean you know, a lot of time the seller or whoever that you're negotiating, the number that they give you might be a lot lower than what you were going to offer, okay? And that's why whoever mentioned the number first, and then when you mention the number first, then it gives the other, you know, then the other person, maybe, you know, then the other person, now it's in control. Now they're like, well, that's where you're starting. I'm going to start lower, all right? So anyways, so when it comes to negotiating with everybody, you guys, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, and yeah, keep that tactic in mind and try to find different ways to get the other person to mention you the numbers. I mean, we have done this not with just seller, but we have done this with buyers, and we have also done this with you know, or a JV partner, you know, or co-wholesaler, people that are helping us selling our deals. You know, they would ask, you know, especially the one that we haven't, you know, that we haven't worked with, and they will be like, well, Khang, or hey, oh, so what do you want? So what do you typically pay for a JV? And I always ask them, well, you know, here's the price. You know, what amount does it make sense? What amount do you want, or what amount does it make sense for you? All right, because I always want to make sure, you know, you always want to make sure the other person on the other side is also happy and they're getting what they want. Okay, and if their price is too high, then you can come back and start negotiating from there. But if you mention the number first and yours was really low, and they'll be like, I don't know if I want to work with this guy anymore, he's trying to, you know, really cheat me on this deal, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So we always, you know, a lot of time I ask them first. I already kind of figured what kind of, what amount we should pay or we should give them, or etc. But we try to get them the number. Then I can always, you know, like we just did one JV deal where one of our co-wholesale has his own pool of buyers. So we sent the deal to him. He got a buyer, comes in, and he said, well, Khang, what would you pay for me on this deal? Because price wise it's a little bit higher than we always come back and say, well, what would you like? What would you like? What would make sense for you? What do you think is fair? And he said 7,500, right? He said 7,500. I said, well, you know what? Why don't we make it 8? So basically, I already knew that I was kind of gonna pay him more, and it makes everyone happy. It makes him, now he thinks that, wow, I asked for 7,500, and this guy is willing to pay me 8. That's awesome. This is the person, or this is the person I want to work with. So a lot of times you surprise them and you treat them with, you give them a little extra more than what they wanted. It's always better like that anyways, right? So that way you let them, you let that person mention a number first. All right, you guys? And there's where deals where they mention, oh yeah, I want 5,000. Then, you can come back and say, this deal we're really tight. I wish we can pay you 5, but will you consider this? All right? So that's why you always want to give them a number. You want to get them to give you a starting point. All right, you guys? So that's the key when negotiating with a motivated seller, or I guess just in anybody in general. But since we're talking about wholesaling, we're talking with motivated seller. So when talking to seller, try different ways, different tactics to get them to give you a price. I've done this on multiple deals where seller would not give a price. So they have talked to one of our gal already, and they would not give the price. They would not give the mortgage amount. All right. And then when I ask them, I try to find different ways to ask them. And typically on the third time, I typically get them to give me roughly an ideas of what they would, roughly an ideas of what they think, that they would want for the property. Also too is another one, let's just say that they don't, now here's another one that I want to share with you guys. So basically, let me see. So typically, if you ask them, what do they think the property is worth? Okay. And a lot of times seller does have an idea. They do have an idea of what the property is worth. Not all the time that they're accurate, not all the time that they're within ballpark, but they kind of already have an ideas of what they think the property's worth and what they want it to sell for. Okay, so when you ask them, what do they think the property's worth? And if they don't give you a price, then same thing, you want to try different tactics. You want to say, John, or so Mr. Seller, what do you think, so what is the tax value on it? All right, so what is the tax assessed value on the property? Or what do you think other similar, instead of saying their property, so Mr. Seller, what do you think other similar property like your goes for in the area in today's market? Or hey, Mr. Seller, what do you think the tax assessed value is on your property? And then once they mention a number, now, do you think it's more than that now in today's market? It's less than that, or is that pretty the amount? And you'll be surprised. Sometimes the seller will say less because in their head, the condition of the property, so they would give you a less price. Or sometimes they say, you know what, that's the tax assessed value. I want to get that amount. Okay, so if you can't get them the price, they sometimes even say that. Okay, when you ask them that question, or they would say, no, well, that's the tax assessed value. It's always much lower. It's always lower. I think it's going to be much higher than that. Then you just start playing with them. Okay, Mr. Seller, so are we talking about 30 to 40,000 more, 50,000 more? Could you give me a rough ballpark, please? This will really help us out, really help the process out, and really helps to see if we can do business together. If you can just kind of give me a ballpark of where you're at. All right, you guys. But anyways, I don't want to drag this video on. I just want to share that quickly with you guys. Always make sure when it comes to negotiating with the seller or anybody, make sure that you ask them to give you the number first. All right, you guys, do the best you can. If they don't, obviously, you just got to drop them an offer. All right, you guys. Anyways, you guys, that's it. I thank you so much to everyone that have subscribed. If you guys like my video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Be part of my channel and part of our family. And I'll come out more of this video to share with you guys and show you guys, giving you guys the right path and the right directions to go out there and crush it in your market. Okay? And as always, you guys, drop me a comment. Let me know where you're at, what you need help with, and I'll do my best to deliver the answer for you guys, getting you guys moving on the right path, getting you going out there to do your first, 5th, 6th, 10th, deals, whatever it is. All right, you guys, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.